I'm in the tune of freedom song. Everybody get on board. From north to south, from shore to shore.
Good morning, America. How are you? We are fantastic as usual. Yes, we have problems. We do. And we know we do. But we're alive and we're ready to go. And right now, as a matter of fact, in lovely California, as I'm recording this, it's raining. It's raining in California. Look at that. Jerry Brown's plan of don't do anything, bring in more people, give everybody a license, pack as many people as possible in here, and then pray actually worked. Well, aside from the people are still here, and of course it's eventually going to stop raining. But lo and behold, prayer worked. Look at you, Jerry Brown. Even for a hypocrite like yourself, prayer does work. Although what I suggest for you, young man, is you know what? Put prayer aside for right now, because I doubt if you did it anyway. All right? You need to take a little trip to Oz. The wizard has the 3 things you're looking for. Yeah, we've had enough. All right? People like you want to tell us to pray. Try it yourself, hypocrite. With that said, it seems to be with the Democratic Party lately, we're getting a lot of message, 0 content, and a whole bunch of people telling us to do things that they're not doing. For instance, there's an interesting little thing coming out of Baltimore, Maryland. The state's attorney for Maryland has decided to stand up and tell people across the nation, that she heard your call for no peace, no justice. She heard your call from Maryland, people. No peace, no justice. First of all, let's deal with this in an actual factual manner. There hasn't been justice for quite a while, lady. Where you been? Where you been? It's called the Patriot Act. Yeah, we haven't had justice for quite a while. We've got the NSA recording everything we're doing. In fact, I'm sure once this gets loaded onto social media, the NSA will have this information as well. We don't have justice anymore. I don't know we haven't had it for quite a while. But you, standing in the state of Maryland, you don't speak for the nation. I can guarantee you 99.9% of the nation doesn't even know who you are. But even if we did, you don't speak for us. Your authority, if you have any at all, stops at the state line of Maryland. So rein it back in. You're not speaking for any of us out here. But just out of curiosity, who do you think you're speaking for? Yeah. Interesting, because you're not speaking for me. And I doubt you're speaking for the other 300 million Americans out here who are actually following the laws and doing the things that we're supposed to be doing. But, another Democratic hypocrite. Lo and behold, we have another one. I mean, it just doesn't stop. Out of the state of Missouri. And this one is quite fascinating. State senator from Missouri decided to tell her constituency that if the state of Missouri cut back on food stamps or welfare, that it would drive her constituency, or the people that voted for her, to prostitution and crime. So if we stop, if the good people of Missouri, the taxpayers of Missouri, stop giving other people money, it's going to drive them to prostitution and crime? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're actually saying this out loud? Okay, well, first of all, let me correct you with another fact. You Democrats crack me up. Not that the Republican politicians are any better, but at least the Republican politicians, for the most part, can keep their mouths shut about the idiocy that's happening in their minds. You Democrats are just stunning to me. If the people of Missouri do not give the people who voted for you money, it's going to drive them to prostitution and crime. Well, let's clear that first one up. Prostitution is crime. I laugh to keep from crying. This is insane. But make no mistake, what she's basically saying is if people don't get paid off, they're going to riot or loot in the streets. Well, we're having that anyway. So, across America, why don't we just simply get rid of welfare, get rid of food stamps? We're already having the rioting. At a bare minimum, we can save some money. This is what's called progressivism, okay? And according to the state senator, if, and this is, again, the state senator from Missouri, Her last name is escaping me at the moment. I believe her first name is Jamila. So, if you're interested in looking it up, I'm sure you can find it off of that. I don't know if there's too many state senators other than possibly her named Jamila. But this is the stunning part of this situation. She's actually saying that people are going to become criminals or sell themselves on the streets if they don't get something for free. That's insane. That is pure insanity right there. But again, this is a system that's been set up for a couple of decades. So if this is true, if we actually take her at her word, that we stop giving these people these things, that they're literally going to run down to the corner, hey, big boy, looking for a date? I mean, is that what we're saying here? That these people will simply just run down and start selling their bodies? Okay, well, if that is true, then whoever set this system up needs to be removed completely from the planet. If it's so true that you start somebody on something, give them to them for free, and they become so dependent upon it that when you take it away, they turn to crime and prostitution, then you never should have given it to them in the first place. This is akin or comparable to people on drugs. The first one's free, but the rest of it's going to cost you the rest of your life. Now, do we really have millions of people out there right now who, if we actually stopped giving them money, would turn to crime or selling themselves on the streets? No. This is a ridiculous premise. It's ridiculous. Okay? Most of the people that we're feeding right now and caring for and doing that simply need the help, we'll just figure out a way around it. Okay? But the ones that don't need the help, that are abusing the system, they wouldn't turn to crime. They just sit in their houses and keep smoking their pot. Enough is enough. We have to have serious people talk about serious issues. We can't have people from Maryland making police officers criminals and criminals heroes. You have got to be kidding me. Come on, America. Come on. This is ridiculous. But no, we can go a little bit further. Out here in California, our lovely Attorney General, Kamala Harris. Oh my goodness. This piece of work is fascinating. Just recently, an assistant or somebody who works for her was just arrested along with 2 other cohorts down in Southern California because they were running around telling people that they ran and belonged to a 3,000-year-old police fraternity. I mean, a 3,000 people. That means these guys have been running something since, I don't know, BC, before Christ. These guys are running a police fraternity. All right. And when they were questioned by authorities, one of the individuals actually pulled out a business card that said Department of Justice. And he gave Kamala Harris his name. Lo and behold, he does work for Kamala Harris. Lo and behold, this is the same Kamala Harris that Barack Obama was out here stumping for and decided to channel his inner Bill Clinton and tell the world how great looking she is. This is who's leading us right now. Look, guys, I don't even care anymore that you voted, if you voted to re-elect Barack Obama. By now, you've got to come to reality here, okay? He doesn't care about you. He doesn't. The individual he just came up with, or somebody came up with, he's going to take credit for it, My Brother's Keeper program. Now, he can't even come up with a program and have an actual name, have any creative response to come up with something new. That's not a new name. That's been around for quite a while. But he's going to come up with a new program. The man's been in office for 6 years, 6.5 years. Okay, we are coming into now the final, thank goodness, the final days of Barack Obama. And now he's coming up with a program called My Brother's Keeper. Where you been for the last 6.5 years? The lovely thing about My Brother's Keeper, and it's not lovely at all, is it actually specifically says it's to help boys of color. Boys of color. Well, isn't white a color? What about brown? This is one of the most, not only just idiotic, but it's such a depressing thing to hear the person sitting or standing at the bully pulpit to lead this country. And he's talking about the color again of people's skin. What? Brown boys don't matter? Well, that's what they meant by brown and black matter. Okay, so white boys don't matter? Why is this so gender specific? What about the girls? The black girls don't matter? Brown girls don't matter? White girls don't matter? Barack Obama, you are a pathetic soul. You stay away from our children, all of them. You're doing nothing but hurting them. The inner cities right now are worse off because you've been in office. Our cities are burning now, looting because you've been in office. This wasn't happening before. Trust me, when you leave and we actually get responsible people back in place, it's going to stop. These kids need a place to belong. You're giving them nothing but hate. You're a coward. Just like your former Attorney General who said, America is too afraid. We're a bunch of cowards when it comes to race. We aren't a bunch of cowards when it comes to race. We don't care about the color of our skin. Just you racists do. I walked around yesterday in a wide variety of places talking to a bunch of people, doing a different business, different commerce. I was in banks, I was in stores, I was doing a lot of different stuff yesterday. Came across all kinds of different people. It didn't matter what they looked like. None of us even cared. We didn't even think about it. We talked to each other, we laughed, we smiled, we did business. We helped each other. That's what America is. America is strong. You are weak. You're pathetic. You're not a leader. You're pathetic. My brother's keeper. You stay away from my brothers. You stay away from my sisters. But that reminds me, obviously you don't care about the girls either. You didn't care about Hadijah Pendleton. Now I know most people listen to that name right now. It's not gonna mean too much. It's actually in my book because it was important to put it in there. Hadijah Pendleton was a young girl from Chicago. Yeah, place where Barack Obama came from. Apparently, I mean, Chicago is probably one of the worst places right now for any child to be in. Chicago children are dying virtually every weekend from a gunshot wound, or the ones we don't hear about who are dying because of a crack overdose, or their parents aren't there to take care of them, so they're starving to death. Great job, Brock. Great job. You are fantastic. 6.5 years. Chicago's worse. Baltimore is worse. Ferguson, Missouri, they pray that they've never even heard of you. That business is never coming back. Never coming back off of a hands up, don't shoot. That was completely false, that you narrated, that you let go. It wasn't true. Everybody knows it. But let me come back to Hadijah Pendleton. Hadijah Pendleton was a young girl from Chicago who you actually brought into Washington, D.C. to entertain you. She sang. Apparently she had a beautiful voice. Beautiful voice. I didn't personally hear it. I wasn't there. But you were. She came in to entertain you and your family and all your cohorts and your confidants and all you Washington, D.C. socialites. Then when she was done entertaining you, you sent her home. And it wasn't too much longer after that, she was killed in the streets. Where's your sister's keeper? You disgust us. And don't think you're off the hook either, Republican politicians. You're not holding him accountable. We're going to hold you accountable. You guys are nothing but a bunch of cowards, and you're letting our children die in the streets. And you know what? It isn't just MSNBC or Salon or Huffington Post. I mean, these people are utterly ridiculous. But Fox News even got in on it too. How is it possible, Fox News, that you can actually run your cameras around in Baltimore when you've got kids running around throwing bricks at cops. Kids who weren't raised properly, who probably didn't have any supervision whatsoever. And then when apparently a quote-unquote mother shows up and starts beating the living tar out of one of the kids, you call her a hero? A hero? What is wrong with you? Is that your idea of fair and balanced? A woman who didn't do a good job, who ignored her child, who lets her child run in the streets, he's so far lost and gone he belongs to nothing that when finally things are unleashed because of some absurd politicians who don't want to actually do their jobs and tell the cops to stand down, he runs out there with his face covered and starts throwing bricks and rocks. And then because she shows up and slaps and punches him, she's a hero? Fair and balanced. Dumb and Dumber's more like it. People don't care about the kids. She's not a hero. She raised, gonna be a felon, it sounds like. Definitely a criminal. The heroes are the mothers that are home right now, raising their children. The fathers that are at home right now, raising their children. That are out there working multiple jobs and making sure there's at least one parent home all the time to take care of their kids. They had children because they wanted to have them. They didn't have them just because. Now that they have them, they're taking care of them. It's their responsibility. They're not running around looking for credit. They're not slapping them. That's child abuse. It's an actual assault when she slapped him in the face. She's not a hero. The heroes are the ones you're not covering. The people who are taking care of their children. Who are now getting to a point where they're homeschooling their kids because the education that's coming is ridiculous. Common Core. Communist. It's utterly ridiculous. That's what you should be covering. On a daily basis, you should be covering the wonderful people in America who are standing up and saying, enough is enough. We've had it. People I'm going to be meeting very soon as I travel through America, because that part of the equation's coming. Shoulder to shoulder, one voice at a time. This is our country. This is our country. We will not have it taken from us. It will not happen. God bless the United States of America. Protection of our children. Protection of our morals. Protection of our ethics. And we will be just fine. Shoulder to shoulder, brothers and sisters. It's our time. It's your time. That time is right now. Right now. Right now, as I said before, I'm just looking for 3% of you. We prepare our minds. We prepare our bodies. We use our voices. You know who I'm talking to. Stand with me. Voices loud. Loud. This is going to be easier than you think. America's screaming for leadership. Screaming for leadership. We will provide that. Ethical leadership. And as I said before, and I'll say it again, we aren't here, I'm not here to fix your problems. You will fix your problems. I am here, we are here to fix the systems, to free you, so that you can go and be and dream. The American dream. The American dream of freedom. God bless the United States. One voice at a time.
Can you hear the wheels as they roll along? I'm in the tune of freedom song. Everybody get on board. From north to south, from shore to shore.